long. They had that, but we were watching because we just like football. Even though that can't contend with the NFL. So as a fan, we would like to see it because that's just the way it is. But it's already a violent sport as it is. So why, all the concussions and the head injuries and things like that, why would the players want to agree to something that will make it even more violent? Like you said, unless it's money, if they ante up some money, guaranteed money, because that's what it's about, that's what it's about. If they guarantee the money for the players and the players get this guaranteed money, bigger contracts, longer contracts and guaranteed money, maybe they might do it. But as you said, they're not seeing eye to eye. And I think even with this CBA coming, I think there's going to be a lockout or close to it when it comes up, because the 18-game season is way too long. The players they're not going to put their bodies through that anymore. They already think the season's already too long as it is, grueling as it is. So they said, unless they give up the money, the NFL wants to give them money. These arrogant owners and the arrogant commissioner is not going to try to give more money than they need to, because the commissioner is making all the money. So the players already don't like that. They already think he makes too much money as it is. So I just don't see it happening anytime. So they're definitely not going to agree on this.
Yeah, I think this is one of those things. I think that they're just throwing it out there. They're throwing it out there. They want to see what response they're going to get, which is it's going to be a negative response, period. But they're throwing this out there, I think, to basically just piss on the players. Like, we already don't care, so we're just going to give you this. We're gonna poke you in the eye with this story right here, even though we know that this is something that you don't want to do. And I think that is what this looks like to me. I agree with Joe, CowboysBlog.net. He says, I can't stand Goodell, worst commish in the history of the league. Facts. I can't stand this dude either. And little side note, Cowboys fans and non-Cowboys fans, do not be surprised if Zeke gets suspended for giving a security guard the lightest forearm shiver I've ever seen in my entire life, because it could possibly happen. Whatever Goodell says, Goodell's like, he is the first and final. I don't even know if stuff goes to a committee. I think stuff just goes to his desk and he decides what he wants to do at that point in time. I don't even think it's a committee type thing, because the committee said, I'm kind of going into my Cowboys bag, but they told him that you did not need to suspend Zeke. They had a review about it. They had a team of people look at it. So it's Goodell's world basically, and he decides what is not going to happen.
Yeah, it's power and wealth. That's what he has. He's a commissioner. He's the jury, the executioner. He's all of that. And I wish that when the NFL come up with these issues, I wish that they would not have him make all the decisions. And that's the problem with the league. He makes the decision. They need an outside arbitrator on a lot of this stuff. Somebody that's not linked to the player side or the owner side or the commissioner side. Someone come in and have a fair point on any issue, whatever it is. If it's these labor disputes, if it's these about concussions, whatever, domestic violence. I mean, there's so much going on. If they can make a decision on that, now I get it, you can't have these guys just running around acting crazy, but you still need. I mean, the commissioner, he only knows one thing: it's just power and wealth. He doesn't really care. I don't think like that. He's about his money. And as long as the NFL is putting out a lot of product, that's all that matters to him. I mean, it doesn't. I don't know if he really cares about the player's health, but it's just power and money with him and ego. That's what the commissioner is all about.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So let's switch over to another topic. We got the NFL. We'll see what happens with that. I think there is going to be a lockout, like I said. But another story from this week, Anthony Davis AD, the unibrow, is going to meet with the GM, David Griffin, not the GM, but maybe the GM, and the David Griffin, who's, I believe, president of basketball operations or something like that. So him, Trajan Langdon, and Anthony Davis are going to sit down. I think this is going to be a very interesting conversation. It's going to be different than what it was when he demanded a trade. The team's on a different trajectory right now. They got a first-round pick that they're going to use on Zion. Partner Zion with AD. Would he be interested in that? Would he want to stick around? Personally, I think time is up, because that means you're going to have to basically shepherd Zion. You're going to have some more years where you win 20 to 30 games. And I don't think he wants to do that. I think he wants to win. I don't know where he's going to go. Maybe it's Lakers, maybe it's Knicks, maybe it's somewhere else. But I think he's ready to partner with another star. And wherever that is wherever he's going to go. But I think it's over. I don't think there's a way that they can convince him to stay or stick around, because it's going to, number one, be more work. And you're going to lose more games. And I don't think he wants to lose more games. But I wanted to get your thought, AD. Supposedly he met with them already, or he's going to meet with them at some point in time this week.
Yeah, I think he did meet with them. And this summer for an NBA is like a, 24/7, 365 type of drama, soap opera league.
Exactly.
But we love it. We love that NBA is not just from November to June anymore. It's November to November. It's just an all-year event, because this free agency class and the trade rumors and now the draft with Zion is going to be, I know we both are going to keep our eyes and ears open on this. But going back to the AD thing, I think this is over. I think his mind is already made up. I think he just gave them, out of respect, gave them a meeting just to hear what they had to say. But I know Dave Griffin, he's going to try his hardest to keep AD in, because you just don't trade a guy of that type of talent just to trade him. You could lose him in a year, but they don't have to trade him now. He's still in a contract. So it's like the whole Kyrie thing when he was still in a contract with Cleveland. He forced their hand, and Jimmy Butler the same way. He forced their hand to trade him. But they really don't have to. But they might be forced, just like those other players. So I think he just gave them, out of respect for David Griffin and the New Orleans Pelicans. But he's been saying his mind's made up. It doesn't matter if they got the number one pick. They're going to get this once in a generational player that we think is going to be in Zion. But there's still, even with him, with Zion and Anthony Davis, they're still going to be a couple of years away from contending. Because we don't know what Zion's going to do. Is he going to come in and dominate right from the beginning? Is it going to take him a couple of years? And this is just more years off of Anthony Davis's career that, like you said, he has to wait. So why not trade him while his value is high? Trade him now. You could get a lot for Anthony Davis, and you could get a top. The Lakers want to really move. They got that fourth pick. The Knicks are up there, a high draft pick. Whatever team's in that top 5, 6. The Pelicans are in a good spot, regardless if they trade Anthony Davis or they don't. They're in a really good position. They can get more assets, more picks. So I think AD's time is up in New Orleans.
Yeah. I think really at this point he would be going backwards, and a lot of people don't want to renege on what they already said. It's on record that he wanted to trade. I think Mo Cheese has a great point. He says, I think he's gone to those meetings, and AD's eyes are helping his appearance and trade value. I agree with that too.
Yeah.
I think you want to do everything possible to get you out of New Orleans. And if that's appearing, if that's waving at fans, if that's going to meetings, you can go to a meeting, but that doesn't necessarily mean that your idea means that you want to stay. So I'm 100% agreeing that I think he's leaving. No doubt about that. But we will see. We got a great summer. We don't have an average summer. We got a great summer. KD, Kyrie, AD, Kemba. What happens with the Bucks? They're probably going to end up splitting up. You're probably not going to see Middleton there. I mean, there's a lot. Jimmy Butler. There's a lot of pieces that need to fall. Now, before I let you go, the Houston Rockets, Daryl Moyer says that supposedly the story is that he's willing to move heaven and earth to not break it up, but make the team better. So that could mean a lot of things. And Mo Cheese, I think you called it, because he was saying last week or the week before last that in the interview, the post-game interview, Harden says, "I know what we need to do." And maybe he was talking about CP3. Maybe he was talking about D'Antoni. I think D'Antoni needs to go. D'Antoni ball does not win. But give me your thoughts real quick. Houston getting ready to, sounds like, blow it up with everybody except Harden.
Yeah, that story, I saw that story a couple of days ago. Someone at work, we was at work, and they were talking about, he said, "You see the story with the Houston Rockets?" I was like, okay, what's going on? Did they make a major trade? And he was telling me, they want to blow this team up and start from scratch, or maybe just keep Harden. At the time, Harden was on the table too. So, but we talked about a few weeks ago when Houston got put out of the playoffs. It's going to be hard to move. Somebody will bite on that contract of CP3. It's going to be hard to move, but someone will bite on that. He's making almost close to $40 million a year, and James Harden the same thing. Like, somebody will bite on that contract, but now D'Antoni, he stopped his negotiation, so he's a lame duck coach now. So they're about as big as a mess as the Lakers right now with the front office, the coaching. They fired all of D'Antoni's coaches, so but that leaves him as a lame duck now. So where does he go? Now, he's coaching for his job next year. If not, they might just get rid of him before. And then on top of that, they were going to hire Tyronn Lue as his head assistant coach.
Assistant, right.
that whole thing, you want Tyronn Lue basically to fill in and be with when they fired D'Antoni. So then Tyronn Lue said, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want this job either," because that was the same thing with the whole Jason Kidd on the Lakers, being assistant coach. He's going to slide right in, just in case their coach get fired too. So it's the same exact thing. And Tyronn Lue wants to be a head coach, not assistant coach. But man, what a mess. I don't know what's going to happen with the Houston Rockets. D'Antoni could get fired. There's some bickering with CP3 and Harden. They tried it for 2 years, hasn't worked. They just signed Clint Capella. He's got a big contract. He's the only other player with a lot of value that's left on that team. You got Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker. These guys got a little bit of value still left, but they're a mess just like the Lakers, and it's sad because Houston is a very good team who just lost to the Warriors. You can't really be, when you lose to the defending champions 2 years in a row, it's not really nothing to be ashamed about, but it's just the way they play. D'Antoni's offense never works in the playoffs. It's regular season, and it just doesn't work in the playoffs, never.
Yeah, it has not, and it will not ever work, I don't think. Comment here, D'Antoni is a one-trick pony. It's just not championship caliber. It does, his form of basketball does not win. Point blank, period. If you don't agree, point out a moment when he won a championship, and he hasn't. So Houston, along with the Lakers, Houston's is better off than the Lakers, but Houston still has not got over that hump, which is beating the Warriors. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens this summer. We could have CP3 getting moved. There's already talks of Clint Capella getting traded to Dallas. So is that in the works? Are they going to try to add? Who else can you add or take away? I mean, there was a lot of eggs in this basket, especially with the contract that you signed CP3 to. So very interesting couple of weeks and months coming up I want to appreciate you, Courtney, for coming on the show. Man, great chopping it up with